So yesterday, I already had a video in the can. I was able to spend like 2 days working on a video, which is really good. So the video I'll do tomorrow, I'll post tomorrow, will be about reserve currencies, why the yuan will never be a reserve currency. But another thing happened yesterday, I think early in the morning, whatever. I got a comment on one of the first videos I made here in Maxotics. And by the way, these videos are really for me. They're just for my like sort of like journals. I figure, well, you might be like two or three people out there that find this stuff interesting. I mean, I'd watch it, but I can't believe anybody else would watch it. But anyway, on that first video, this is day 4. But on that first video, I got this comment: "Hello, my friend. I checked out your page. It took me half a year. So, you can read it right here, and it's just a very nice video. I mean, just very nice comment about the video. Now, I'm just thinking this guy has like one subscriber. But again, I don't care. Like, that's so nice, so nice. I don't care who you are. Like, you'd spend like 5 minutes out of your day to say something nice. And so anyway, but then I go and I look him up, and it's this guy, Marc Gallagher. He's from Australia, and he has 214,000 subscribers, which is great. So, I mean, he's, again, that he would spend even 5 minutes. I mean, again, nice that if he had one subscriber, but that he has 214,000. He obviously, has a hopping YouTube channel that he'd have time to do this. And then then he has another channel, which I guess ended 4 years ago or something. I don't know why. But these are super hilarious. I mean, the one they did on the gender gap in virtual reality, I mean, that's better than 99% of the stuff you see on Saturday Night Live. So, if you're watching this, definitely go watch that video. It's hilarious. I'm sure the others are good too. I haven't had time to look at them. Anyway, I just sort of wanted to have I want to say the things I've already learned by looking at his channel that I think is, just something that is fascinating to me. So I'm 61, but I have a grown daughter that's 30, 28, 24. So my oldest and my middle child, they both grew up reading the Harry Potter books. And I think for any generation, there are certain books or certain media that become part of your mental mindset, sort of like how you look at the world in many sort of things. So for them, Harry Potter was it. Now, I didn't read any of the books. I watched the first movie. I thought very interesting and cute. And the other movies, I could barely sit through. But for them, again, it's, those characters are real in their life, in their sense. Just like for me, Star Trek and to a lesser extent, Star Wars is in my head. So, Spock, Captain Kirk, Chekhov, they're all in my head. Lieutenant Uhura, all those people. So if anybody does, so one of my favorite movies, by the way, is I'm forgetting the name, but the Tim Allen, the spoof on science fiction, a lot of it on Star Trek. So that movie is one of my favorite movies. I'm sorry, I forget the name. So I think what Mark is really like keyed in on is that he recognizes that generation. So like for my daughters, and I need to ask them if they've seen any of his videos. I'm sure they'd enjoy them. I enjoy them. And by the way, I think they're funnier than the original. So even just my limited knowledge of, Hogwarts, what is it called? Anyway, whatever I'm blanking on that name too. So what he's done is he recognizes that there's an audience out there that they've stopped, watching any of these. Well, the books aren't made anymore, right? So, but it's still in their head. They're still interested in it. So he's saying, okay, well, here I'm gonna look back on our shared sort of mindset of the world, and I'm gonna make some jokes about it, about the stuff we used to love. And so that's why I think it's part of the reason why the channel is very good, is that there are many people that really want this content, and he does a really good job at it. It's very, very creative. So, and I like the way that he's not overthinking it, right? I mean, like, I'm always thinking about, like, should I do videos about this or that? Like, I'm constantly torturing myself. Instead, just ask myself like a basic question, like, what's important to me? What have I lived through? And what's an audience that is like-minded like me? And let's just have a conversation, because his videos are sort of like a very like a conversation. So I'm not surprised like he said a nice thing to me, and I'm sure he says nice things to others, because he values that shared thing, whether it's a shared thing about the Harry Potter stuff, or whether it's a shared thing about making videos, which is our connection in a sense. So I enjoyed that. And let me just show you some of his videos. So what he does, well, these are the longer videos, but really he's been doing shorts. So of course that's what he's really commenting on. This is the the first part of the video I recorded when I started showing his videos. The video is coming on the background because I forgot to set OBS to the desktop. And the second one, I must have hit the stop recording after 2 seconds somehow, not thinking. Anyway, actually, no, I wouldn't even keep making these videos. I mean, I wouldn't keep trying to re-record this if I felt like I have to give Marc the props that I want to give him to the 3 people that might watch this video. All right. So once again, so this is the video, one of the videos that he's doing. So I'm going to talk about this video. Now, what he does, it looks deceptively crude or not very artistic. Now, that right there, so that when I watched this video, I burst out laughing when that scene came up, because I'm pretty sure that's from Sailor Moon. And my kids also watched that when they're like 10. So before the Harry Potter years, they watched that when they were younger. I used to sit on the couch watching it. So again, like I said, it gives me more evidence that he's really thinking about that generation's mindset, and he's going back and forth. So he's showing the stuff that they watched when they're teenagers, and then he's going back and then doing the scene from their childhood with now generally in Sailor Moon or in that anime stuff, basically girls didn't have big breasts, but obviously the artist at some point really wanted to do it, and they sneak it in there. So I think that's sort of his. Anyway, I laughed. Now, what he does is, in his comment to me, he said, you really need to work on the editing, which, I'm not going to argue with it at all. It's definitely my weak point, because I'm very, I'm just not patient. He was an animator, or he has an interest in it, so it's easier for him. Not this any excuse. But so what he does here is I don't know whether he's lip syncing this, how he's doing this, whether it's from a game or it's a TV show. I don't know how he's doing it, but you notice how like he cuts in, he zooms in and out, very like it's changing every 3 seconds. So if you get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. You see, it's coming. It's always keeping visually interesting, and so what it sort of does is it keeps you, because, biologically, we're very attuned to changes in movement. So by doing that, he's sort of like keeping us interested in what we're watching. But really, the humor is all in his writing and his dialogue. And one of the things I struggle with is I keep wanting to make my captions have a lot of effects, because most of the popular YouTube shorts have very animated captions with lots of, various fonts and boldings and tricks and whatever. And here he's just basically using 1 or 2 fonts and bolding, and that's basically it, which I think is the right thing to do. And this gives me sort of inspiration really to stick with that myself, because really what he's saying is like, listen, this is, these are just the words. You want to read the words, here they are. But again, I'm doing the graphics to sort of tell you this, like get in your mind, like who's talking. So graphics are just like, keep you interested. Who's talking? Here are the words if you want to read them. But what's the really entertaining part is the story that he's telling, right? It's the jokes he's making, the humor he's doing, the satire he's doing, whatever. So I really like this way that he's doing it. And so I hope to do some videos at some point in the future where I sort of borrow on these tricks. So although I don't particularly have an interest in, let's say Sailor Moon, for example, I definitely, there's some other ones he does here. So I've wanted to do some videos on, like, Tess is sick of this stuff. Now, I don't remember him. Like, isn't that a different character? So he might be telling a joke I'm just not getting here, because that's not whoever the star is of the Last of Us. Um, but anyway, I mean, I definitely would want to do videos on the Last of Us. So maybe I'll borrow from him and I'll do something like it. So anyway, he does other stuff here too. That's more generalized. So anyway, I just wanted to share what I've learned with him, because again, every day I want to talk about the process, and the process is last night or today. I watched a bunch of his videos. I see how he achieved the effects that he's achieving, and yeah, it's great stuff. So I learned a lot. So thank you, Mark. I look forward to watching more of your videos in the future. And everybody else, well, the 2 or 3 of you, thanks for watching, and until tomorrow.